Sing Yesterday for me is a slice of life romance anime centering on Rikuo Ozumi, a college graduate adrift and working a dead end job at a convenience store. His uneventful days take a turn when he encounters Shinako, a former college love interest, and Haru, an unusual woman who has a pet crow and also has feelings for him. As their paths cross, this anime delves into unfulfilled affections, past emotional burdens, and the complexities of navigating adulthood. Starting with the positives, I really liked Rikuo as a character. He does have a college degree, but he chooses to stay working at a convenience store because he doesn't want to get hurt again, considering he had a crush on this one girl and didn't get to tell her how he felt. Rikuo is a rather interesting character to me because I can sort of understand where he's coming from. And when it comes to moving on from school and being stuck at a lower end job, and while he does have aspirations of quitting and doing something better for himself, he just doesn't know where to go from there. And that's when Shinako arrives. Shinako is a rather nice lady, but I found her character to be rather flawed. And granted, that is sort of the point, but I really felt that her actions really hindered my experience with the show. And I get that she has a lot going on, and it does suck. But there's a lot of situations where it takes her forever to accept that change happens and she has to move on. I really wanted to like her because I sympathized with her, but her character did ruin the show for me as it was going on because she sort of stayed the same for like 9 episodes straight and then sort of gets it after that. And I don't know. She was just kind of a mess, and I was not a fan of Shinako at all. Going from one character I rather disliked to another character I really did like, Haru, it was a standout character to me, as she really brought out a lot of comedic moments to the show. She has a crush on Rikuo, and I felt their chemistry was just a tad better, mainly because this anime is so heavy with its emotions and its attempts at realism that seeing Haru interact with Rikuo was sort of a breath of fresh air because I really liked her character. She was rather funny. She does have some serious moments that are rather sad. She was a high school dropout and she goes off to live on her own. I do wish we got to learn more about her family, but it is what it is. I still really liked her a lot. I thought she was a standout character, and her pet crow is kind of cute. One thing that really stood out to me with this anime is just how real this anime is. There really isn't a lot of sugarcoating when it comes to the relationships and stepping out of their comfort zone to succeed in life, and sometimes it can be a risk. Maybe taking that step can lead to more problems. Maybe staying at the same job, doing the same thing over and over again, can be a good thing, knowing that at least you have something to do, and you have some coworkers that you can talk to, because Rikuo does have some pretty cool coworkers. And, maybe staying in that situation is a good thing. However, as I was watching this anime, I started to really think about my own life, Where do I want to go after this? Do I want to stay where I'm at? I have no idea. But going back to this anime's realism, while thought-provoking in my opinion, it was also its detriment. With just how heavy this show is, it really struggles with the pacing, especially in the second half of the show. I was really struggling to maintain focus while watching this show just because of how boring it was, especially in the second half. And also, I was not a fan of the show's ending. There were certain parts that were kind of cool, but ultimately, I found the ending to be rather rushed. And I would have liked to have seen more things happen with certain characters that unfortunately I just wasn't given with this show. Maybe it happens in the manga, but in terms of just this anime, it did not provide me with what I wanted. Visually, this show was animated by Doga Koba, and I would have to say the animation was this show's strong points. It's very detailed, it's nicely done, the backgrounds look really good, and I really like the character designs. It's probably my favorite aspect of the show. One of my favorite things that the animators do is add some blurry texture to the backgrounds whenever the character is visualizing a memory in their head. I think that is a rather nice touch. Music-wise, this was pretty good. There's no opening, which I found kind of odd but welcoming because the show's pacing really dragged and an opening would have made things worse. There's 2 EDs, however, and I really like them both. I watched the show in its English dub, and I did enjoy all of the performances. Jill Harris does a really good job playing Haru, and I rather liked Aaron Campbell's performance as Rikuo. I did not watch any of the show in Japanese, but I'm sure it's alright. Overall, I would say I enjoyed certain aspects of Sing Yesterday for me, but ultimately it was a show that I just didn't really like watching. It's not a terrible show by any means, but there's a lot of things that happen in the show that are rather annoying. Especially anything regarding Shinako as a character, or this show's poor pacing, or the ending that I didn't really like. It's a show I really wanted to like, but there was a lot of things that bogged it down for me that I just can't really tell you that I like it. I actually really didn't like the show at all. That being said, I wouldn't go out of my way to say that you shouldn't watch this show because, I mean, you do what you want. You can watch this show if you want to. But for me personally, I was not a fan. And I know Miasma Senpai, my friend who recommended me the show, is a big fan of it. And I can see why. There's a lot of things I really do like about this show. It's just overall, it wasn't for me. But it is what it is. Maybe I should check out the manga because I hear that might be better, but overall as an anime, just not my thing. However, I hope it is your thing, and if you've seen the show, let me know down below what you thought, and I will see you next time. Big thanks to Hanks Retro, Nasty Canasty, Nightcaps of Nostalgia, Ash the Man, Miasma Senpai, and Warpbait for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are truly the best.